Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through the books I'm most excited for in 2022. 2021 is virtually over. It's time to leave that in the past and look forward into the future, into 2022. And with that new year, of course, comes new books that are being released by debut authors, continuations of series, and just all the fun. I made a similar video to this one, of course, at the end of last year, talking about my most anticipated releases for 2021. And so we're gonna go through that list, see how many of those books I actually read, and then we'll talk about the books I'm most excited for in 2022. But before we get into any of that, I wanted to thank today's sponsor, Ana Luisa. Ana Luisa is a New York-based sustainable jewelry company. Their metals are noble and recycled, and each piece of jewelry that they offer is put through a whole series of tests to make sure that the jewelry they are offering is always safe, nickel-free, and hypoallergenic, which is very, very important for your girl because I can only wear jewelry that is hypoallergenic. So I'm very happy that I've discovered this company, and I'm so excited to finally try out a few of their pieces. They have so many styles of jewelry that you won't be disappointed. This jewelry company is gonna have something for you. They have earrings, they have necklaces, they have rings, they have bracelets. So whichever type of jewelry that calls to you, they will have that for you. So go ahead and check them out. They are currently having their biggest sale of the year. They have 10% off some of their last chance items, and they have items that are up to 60% off. So it's a wonderful deal. Once you get, your Christmas money, you want to go and spend it on some jewelry, I would definitely recommend you check out Ana Luisa to get you some earrings, necklaces, rings, bracelets, whatever your heart desires. So the three pieces that Ana Luisa was so kind to send me were these bad boys that I am wearing right now. These are the Tia medium gold hoop earrings, and I absolutely love them. I am definitely a hoop girl, and so they have hoops of all different sizes. As you see here, I also got these ones. These are the Paris. These are a smaller hoop, but very, very cute as well. And then I also got these babies, the Cuidados. These are very cute hoop earrings as well, different shape than the ones I'm wearing, but all the while so gorgeous. So thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sending these my way. Again, I would definitely recommend Ana Luisa. Their prices are incredibly fair. They're an affordable, luxurious jewelry company, so you can look really cute and elegant for a very affordable price. So I will have a link to their website in my description box if you'd like to check them out. Again, they are having a big sale right now, 10% off their last chance items and other items that are up to 60% off as well. So check them out. It'll be in my description box. And thank you again to Ana Luisa for sending these pieces my way. I absolutely love them. Okay, let's get right on back into discussing my most anticipated reads for 2022. But first, let us go back to my anticipated reads list from 2021 and give you kind of a rundown on how I did with those books. So on my anticipated reads of 2021 list, I had Concrete Rose, A Vow So Bold and Deadly, Wings of Ebony, The Gilded Ones, A Court of Silver Flames, Covet, Sweet and Bitter Magic, Actor Age Eve Brown, The Cost of Knowing, Witches Steeped in Gold, Crown of Gilded Bones, Ace of Spades, Blood Like Magic, and Jade Legacy. Now, out of those 14 books that I just listed, I read 7 of those in 2021. So I read half of the books that I was anticipating, which is strange because if I was anticipating them, shouldn't I have gotten to like all of them or more of them? It's shocking, honestly, that I haven't read Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, but as you can see, it's sitting right here. It's looking beautiful on my shelf because I really do need to get to that soon. I'm just trying to get some last minute reads out of my way before I get to Jade Legacy so I can, give it my main focus and everything. So that will either be read next week during the last week of this year, or I will start my 2022 by reading Jade Legacy. So the first book that I have on my list is The Chosen One, a first generation Ivy League Odyssey by Echo Brown, and this one is set to be published on January 4th. I'm very much looking forward to this book because I read Echo Brown's first book, Black Girl Unlimited, back in 2020, and I absolutely loved that book. It was very powerful, very beautiful, very heartbreaking. and I gave it 5 stars. So I'm hoping that with The Chosen One, Echo Brown will become one of my automatic read authors. So in The Chosen One, we are following Echo, who is entering her first year at Dartmouth College. And even though she graduated high school as a valedictorian, she finds herself struggling in her classes at Dartmouth. And so basically, this is a book that explores a Black first-generation college student's experience in their first year of college. And it says in the synopsis that Echo is going to confront mental illness, racism, grief, love, friendship, ambition, self-worth. All these themes that are very relatable will be brought up in this book. And so I'm very excited, especially because graduating my high school, I was a valedictorian as well. And then I went to UC Berkeley for my undergrad and, #1 public university in the world. But I did find myself struggling in classes, and that was very new to me because all through high school, I didn't struggle at all academically. And so going to UC Berkeley, I did. So I'm interested to see how Echo's character deals with this new experience and how she overcomes it in the end. The next book I'm anticipating is Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. And this is set to be published on February 8th. So not only am I interested in the synopsis of this book, but I'm also very interested in the book because Raquel Marie is a fellow booktuber. So I'm always ready and down to support fellow booktubers who are venturing out into the writing world and ending up becoming an author themselves. So I'm very excited to read her debut novel. And so in this book, we are following Ophelia Rojas. And her favorite things in the world are to hang out with her best friends, eat Cuban foods, rose gardening, and boys. Lots and lots of boys. Ophelia always has a lot of romantic crushes because she is a romantic at heart. But soon she finds herself thinking more about the cute girl in her class, Talia Sanchez, as opposed to thinking about the loss of a perfect prom with her ex-boyfriend. So Ophelia begins to doubt the image of herself that she has formed. So this sounds like a really cute young adult coming of age kind of story here. I'm very excited for the romance, and I hope that you guys add this to your TBR as well so we can just continue to support those in our community. All right, so the next book I'm excited for is going to be the sequel to the first Crescent City book, House of Earth and Blood, and that is going to be House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, and this book is set to be released on February 15th. I, of course, read the first Crescent City book back when it was released in 2020. I loved it, gave it 4 stars. The only reason why I didn't give it 5 stars is because it was super long, super chunky, and I kind of lost myself in enjoyment in the middle of the book. But definitely the beginning of the book, the ending of the book, perfection. Bryce and Hunt are one of my favorite book couples, and I hope that SJM does not pull an SJM and add a second love interest because I just love Bryce and Hunt's dynamic so much already that who can beat that? But I'm already prepared for her to do that exact thing and give Bryce another love interest. I would definitely be doing a reread of Crescent City at the beginning of next year, either in January or early February, because I definitely need to remember every single detail that happened in the first book. So I'm 112% ready for House of Sky and Breath. All right, so time for our March releases. The next book that I'm very excited for is going to be The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton. I'm very interested in this book because I read Blackout and Danielle Clayton had a story in there along with a whole other bunch of great Black authors. And I'd never read any of Danielle Clayton's books before. I never read The Bells. I never read Tiny Pretty Things. That was my first time ever reading anything by Danielle Clayton, and I really enjoyed it. So now I'm trying to see if I like any of her other works, and I might as well just start with one of her newer releases. Basically, the story is set at an elite private school in Washington, D.C. named Foxham Prep. And basically, a single rumor is going to just change a whole bunch of lives. And I think we're following 3 different characters. We're following Bren and Cora, who are best friends. And we're following Georgie, who is very geeky, but then she has a whole makeover over the summer and comes back to school looking all glammed up. And so Georgie rockets up the school hierarchy and pits her against Cora, who is the cheer captain. Rumors grow, they morph, and they take over everybody's social media. And so these 3 girls' lives begin to unravel. But one person close to the drama has the power to stop all this nonsense. But the question is, do they even want to stop the drama? I really love these kinds of books that are social thrillers set in real life, like a high school setting, or just pitting people against each other, because it's always about commentary and commenting on some aspect of life, the power social media can have over us, or exploring the danger of rumors and how it can really destroy somebody else's life. So yeah, I just really like those kinds of books. That's why I really loved Ace of Spades. I really hope I feel the same heart pumping, edge of my seatness that Ace of Spades gave me within this book, The Rumor Game. The next book that I'm very excited about is released on March 8th, and that is going to be One for All by Lily Lainoff. This is one that I literally discovered today, like right before I started filming, as I was looking at different books that are being released in 2022, and my eye just fell upon this one, and it sounds super interesting. So now I am very much anticipating its release in March. And so since I don't know too much about it, like I'm just going to read off what it says on Goodreads and the little blurb there, because I think it does a good job in explaining what the book is about. So basically this is a own voices, gender bent retelling of Three Musketeers, in which a girl with a chronic illness trains as a musketeer and uncovers secret sisterhood and self-love. And I've never read a retelling of the Three Musketeers, but I do love retellings in general. So I'm always pretty much down to read a retelling, even if it's a retelling of a fairy tale or a story that I'm not too familiar with. Like I know the basics of what the Three Musketeers are, but I'm not really sure of that story, but that's okay. Okay, so moving on to April, the two books that I'm excited for. The first one is the second book in the Gilded One series, and that is titled The Merciless Ones. This one is going to be published on April 5th. I'm super excited for this new installment in the Gilded One series because I very clearly remember reading the first book because I was sent an ARC and I was rushing to finish it by the deadline because always a procrastinator, whether that's in reading books for fun, doing homework, I'm just a procrastinator. I read it basically in one sitting in one day, and I loved it. I gave it a 4.5 stars. The story grabbed my attention from the first chapter. And then of course the ending was amazing. The whole premise of the book really is to knock down the patriarchy. And I love that because the town, the setting that the book took place in was very much so patriarchy, and women were submissive and had to do everything that the man told them to do and like ill. And I'm so happy that we did something about that by the end of the book, because your girl was getting upset with everything that women had to do that men didn't have to do. I do have a vlog on the Gilded Ones. If you want to see some more of my thoughts on that book, you can go and check out the vlog. I will leave it linked up here and down below for you if you want to check it out. So yeah, this next book is also going to be released in April on the 19th. And it's another sequel of a book that I read this year in 2021 as well. And that is going to be Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse, which is the sequel to Black Sun. I am so excited for this book. Like, I'm happy that I kind of waited to read Black Sun because I did acquire it in 2020, but I didn't read it until 2021, which I'm very happy about because the ending of Black Sun, like, come on now. I needed that second book like right away. And so I'm happy that I only have to wait like 4 months before I can get my hands onto that one, because I'm like, what? Like, what is happening? Who is there? Who is not there? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Definitely read Black Sun if you have yet to. Like, it's definitely worth your read. Basically, Black Sun is inspired by the civilizations of pre-Columbian America and woven into a tale of celestial prophecies, political intrigue, and forbidden magic. I'm not usually the one to like political intrigue in books, but between Black Sun and Jade City, like those two series definitely have me interested in the politics of the book, which is insane. But you know, they did what they had to do to make me interested. So I did love the political intrigue in the book. I loved all the characters and their interactions with each other. The world building was great. I rated it a 4.5 stars, so that's always a great sign. I just need to know what happens next. Like, that's what I put in my Goodreads review of the book. I said 4.5 stars, need to know what happens next. And that still holds true for me today. Read Fevered Star with me as well so we can just scream about it together. All right, y'all. So May is going to be a good month. It's going to be a great month. In fact, there's a whole bunch of books being released in May. I already have 4 on my list. I'm pretty sure that list is going to grow as I continue to hear about new books that are being released in 2022. But so far, I already have 4 on my list. So the first of that is going to be Book of Night by Holly Black. Holly Black may sound familiar because she is the author of the Cruel Prince trilogy, which I have yet to finish. I still have to read The Queen of Nothing. It's insane. But nevertheless, I'm very excited for Holly Black's debut adult novel because this sounds fantastic. I requested this on NetGalley, so cross your fingers for me that I end up getting this arc. But if I don't, then I guess I'll have to wait till May and just still be excited about it, whether or not I read it before May or in May or whatever. Basically, in this world, we have shadows that can be altered. They can be altered for entertainment or cosmetic purposes, but they can also be altered to increase power and influence. Manipulating shadows does have a cost. It can take hours or days away from your life. So in this book, we are following Charlie, who is a low-level con artist working as a bartender, trying to distance herself from the powerful and dangerous underground world of shadow trading. But when a terrible figure from her past comes back into her life, Charlie's present life is thrown into complete chaos. This magic system just seems really cool, really unique. At least I haven't personally heard of any other books that deal with shadow magic. I could be completely wrong. Like, I probably am. Like, let me know if I am. So May 3rd, put it on your list because I'm excited. So let's be excited together. This next book is going to be published on May 17th. And the title of the book is called The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School by Sonora Reyes. And first, like, that title is so captivating. Like, the title, the cover, beautiful. Of course I want to read it. Like, why wouldn't you not want to read it, you know? But basically we are following 17-year-old Yamilet Flores, who is going to be the new kid in a Catholic school where there are mostly white rich kids attending. And Yami is gay, but nobody knows at this new Catholic school. She transferred from another school where her crush and her ex-best friend outed her as being gay. So now Yami has some new priorities at her new school: make her mother proud, keep her brother out of trouble, and do not fall in love. So she's here at this new school and she fakes that she is straight, but the only openly queer girl at her school, Bo, is so annoyingly perfect, and she doesn't know if she's attracted to Bo or just jealous of the fact that Bo can be unapologetically herself. But she just really does not want her mom and her family to know that she is gay, so she continues to fake being straight. So this one sounds really interesting to me because I'm always interested in sexuality and religion, whether you're a Christian, a Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, whatever religion you might be. I'm very interested to see how sexuality plays a role in that, and, you know, just the views that different religions have on sexuality and how that plays out in a person's life. Yes, May is going to be a beautiful reading month, but specifically May 31st is going to make my heart super happy. And that's because there are 2 books that are coming out on this day. One of those books being the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers, titled Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. Y'all know I love this book. I've been talking nonstop about Amari and the Night Brothers since its release date, since I read the book myself. And I will not stop recommending that book, whether you are of middle grade age or if you're an adult. I don't care. Everybody needs to read Amari and the Night Brothers. It is so cute, okay? I have been counting down the days for the sequel to be released. I have that pre-ordered, of course. I don't have many of these books on my list pre-ordered, but I definitely have Amari and the Great Game pre-ordered because I know I'm reading that next year. Like, it's definitely going to be checked off. So what was Amari and the Night Brothers about? Why? Thank you for asking. Amari and the Night Brothers followed Amari Peters, who is 13 years old, whose older brother, Quentin Peters, mysteriously disappears and nobody knows what happened to him. Of course, Amari, being a little sister, is not going to just accept that answer. She is determined to figure out what happened to her brother. Soon, Amari discovers a ticking briefcase in her brother's closet, which was meant for her eyes only. She opens this briefcase and is introduced to a whole new world. This briefcase leads her to the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, where she learns that mermaids, dwarves, magicians, like, they're all real. Everything that she thought was a fairy tale that was fake, it really is real. And so Amari goes to the Bureau as a trainee, and she must outcompete other kids her age from families who already knew about this world and are very much prepared to enter this Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, and Amari is not. And so she's at a disadvantage. So she's just fighting her way in because at the end of the day, she needs to know what happened to her brother Quentin. So one, I loved the descriptions of this book. Everything was so vivid. I thought I was there at the Bureau with Amari and everybody. I loved Amari and Quentin's sibling relationship. I just love sibling bonds so much. They make my heart very happy. And 3, the plot twist at the end threw me for a loop. Didn't see it coming at all. So if you like plot twists and you love magic and everything wonderful, then definitely read Amari and the Night Brothers, and you have lots of time to prepare for the sequel to be released in May. The next book that comes out on May 31st is going to be My Mechanical Romance by Alexis Farrell Fulmuth. And to my surprise, I found out that this is the same author who wrote The Atlas Six, Olivia Blake. They are the same person. But basically, in My Mechanical Romance, we're following Belle, who accidentally reveals her talent for engineering in class, and so she is placed into the robotics club, which is very, very, very much so bro. So all the boys on the team ignore Belle. The captain of the club, Mateo, begins to support Belle and recognize her talent, but soon they start butting heads and then they become oil and water. They can't be in the same room as each other, but they continue to spend lots of nights together after school working together, and soon they realize that they've made more than just a robot. They've made space for themselves and each other. I'm interested in this book because I've been loving the love that STEM girls have been receiving in romance books recently, and so I'm here for it. You know, the love hypothesis, everybody loves that book, and so My Mechanical Romance is entering its way into that field as well. And as a STEM girl myself, I just think that this is great because we deserve love too. I'm happy that STEM is making its way into the romance field right now. So entering the second half of 2021, not all the books that are going to be released have been, announced or given a cover or whatever the case may be. So the books that I'm excited for in the second half of the year are kind of small because this is all I'm aware of right now. But of course, as the year plays out, I will be adding more books to my list, just not on this official video list. With that being said, I don't have any books right now on my June list, but on my July list, I do have one book, and that is going to be Twice as Perfect by Luisa Onome, and this is going to be released on July 26th. And in this book, we're following a Nigerian-Canadian girl who's dealing with an estranged older brother, helping her cousin plan a huge Nigerian wedding, and pressure from her parents about her future. In this book, we're following 17-year-old Adana, whose life is all about her duty because her older brother Sam had a big fight with their parents a few years ago and completely disappeared, so she had to fill the void that he left behind. One day, chance brings back the siblings together, and even though Ada is afraid of how her parents will react with them reconnecting, she is determined to find the answers to why her brother left. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I absolutely love sibling bonds, and it's something that I've discovered about my reading taste this year. We have friendships, we have romantic relationships, but recently I've been reading a lot of books that have been focusing on sibling relationships, and I've absolutely been enjoying my time. I have great relationships with my siblings, and so I really enjoy reading about other healthy sibling relationships. So I'm getting the vibe that this is what Twice as Perfect is going to give me, which is why it's on my anticipated reading list. The next book on my list is set to be released on August 2nd, and this one is titled How to Date a Superhero and Not Die Trying by Cristina Fernandez. In this one, we follow Astrid, who isn't necessarily a superhero, not the kind at least that you see on the news that are fighting bad guys, but she has something that she thinks of as a small superpower, and that's the perfect sense of time. So with that comes a very clear plan for college. That is all until Max Martin, a nerdy boy from her high school, comes back into her life. Things with Max were never simple because he never stays on Astrid's time. He disappears in the middle of dates and comes up with lame excuses. But one night when a supervillain breaks into Astrid's room, she soon discovers that her boyfriend Max is a superhero. Now that just sounds so exciting. For me, the thing that grabbed me was of course the title, because I was like, what's that about? And then from there, learning that Astrid isn't necessarily a superhero, but she just has a perfect sense of time. So I was like, okay, that's a superpower. But then come to realize that there really are superheroes in this book. All of that just makes me so interested to see what is this book about? What is going on here? I want to learn about Astrid and Max's relationship. What's going on? I wish I had a perfect sense of time. I also wish I was a superhero. I'm very excited to read this in the second half of 2022. Okay, so the last two books on my list are going to be sequels, continuations of series. The first of those is going to be released on August 9th, and that is Blood Like Fate, which is the sequel to Blood Like Magic by Liesl Sambury. I was so excited for Blood Like Magic. It was my most anticipated book out of all of the anticipated books for the most part, and it kind of disappointed me. However, I'm still very excited for the sequel, which is why it still made my anticipated list. The ending of Blood Like Magic really had me thrown for a loop. I have a lot of questions that need to be answered. Why did certain things happen? I don't know. So despite the fact that I didn't really love Blood Like Magic, I think I gave it a 3 stars. I am very excited for Blood Like Fate, and I really hope that I enjoy it more than I did the first one. You know, sometimes first books in the series are just, you know, a lot of setup and kind of slow, which I really did find the first book to be slow. So I'm hoping that now that we're introduced to everything and the plot has been laid out, I hope that now it can just go forward and just be a bunch of action and plot points, because I just need to know why Zoya did what she did. And so the basic premise of what Blood Like Magic was about is that we're following Voya Thomas, who is preparing for her calling, which is a ritual that all witches have to go through in order to get their true power. And in order to successfully pass your calling, your ancestors give you a task that you have to, of course, complete. And so Zoya's task is to sacrifice her first love in order to save her family's magic. But the problem is she's never been in love, and so she'll just have to find the perfect guy in time to kill him. One thing that I loved about Blood Like Magic was its cover, and Blood Like Fate is not disappointing. Like, look at this cover. It's very beautiful as well. So yes, I'm excited for this book to come out, despite my average enjoyment of the first book, I would say. All right, so the last book that I have on my list is Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. This is the sequel to Legendborn, and it's set to be released on November 8th, I believe, at least according to Tracy Deonn's Twitter bio. It says November 8th. But I'm also seeing a July release date, so I'm not really sure when that's going to be coming out. But nonetheless, I'm excited for it to be released. I thoroughly enjoyed Legendborn. I gave it 4 stars. In this book, we're following 16-year-old Bree Matthews, who is like a genius. She's a prodigy who goes to college at 16 at UNC Chapel Hill. But on Bree's very first night on campus, she witnesses a magical attack. And soon she is introduced to a secret society known as Legendborn, which are composed of students that hunt down magical creatures. Bree tragically lost her mother in an accident, and so she thought that everything was figured out regarding her mother's death. But also with this introduction to Legendborn Society, she realizes that there's more to her mother's death, and so now she's very interested and determined to figure out those questions and answers, while also battling 2 different love interests, of course. And so I'm very excited to read the next installment of this series and see where Bree's adventures and journey takes her next. So that wraps up the 15 books that I'm most anticipating to be released in 2022 so far. And if these books have also made it onto your most anticipated releases for 2022 list, let me know, so that when these books finally are released and published, we can all scream about it. Reminder to check out the link down below for Ana Luisa. They're currently running the biggest sale of their year. Again, they have 10% off their last chance items and up to 60% off on other items in their store as well. A wonderful company with wonderful, luxurious, affordable style jewelry that you will love during the holidays. Thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. That is all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure your notification bell is turned on so that you don't miss any of my videos that I have uploaded in the future. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye!